What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit of Man Gaming, where I promise you I was going to have another review for you. And this review is for WWE Friday Night Smackdown. Now, first things first, I got a little distracted there. First things first, I'm going to need you to hit the like, subscribe, share, and the notification button. Just because it helps me, helps my channel, and helps me grow overall. Helps the channel grow overall and me grow overall as a YouTuber. So I need y'all to hit that like, subscribe, share, the notification button, do all that. And I'll greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. But yeah, you know what it means. Time for another review. So where do I start? They started off the show with an unusual 7 days. The last couple of weeks, they've been starting the show with Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, coming out to the ring, cutting the promo, getting you hyped for the show. And I have to say, overall, when I think about between Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, SmackDown's actually become for the first time in a long time. I don't think not since the early 2000s. The early 2000s, SmackDown's been the better premier show. After a certain point, it was just all Raw. It was just dominated by Raw. And then SmackDown's now, once again, for the first time since I said since the early 2000s, the dominant storyline, better overall show. So with that, like I said, so they started, and they usually, the last couple of weeks, they've been having Roman Reigns come out and cut these promos, these heel promos, but now, they felt like maybe it was getting a little bit stale, so they had to cut differently. So now Roman, instead of coming out to the ring, it still started with Roman, but instead of him coming out to the ring, he was just backstage looking over his contract for his WWE Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble. And I didn't get I just not getting back to doing these because I had to get work on my camera, get my camera back up and running. But last week, pretty much to summarize, the big thing that came out of last week's Friday Night SmackDown was they had to determine a number one contender for Roman Reigns Universal Championship. So they had a gauntlet match, and the big thing that came out of it was that Shinsuke Nakamura, he ran through the gauntlet and had this amazing performance in which they silently turned him babyface again, and he got. But then at the end, Roman Reigns and his cousin Jey Uso, they came out to the ring, beat him up, because they wanted to make the official Adam Pearce. He like the dude who make the matches and stuff. He like the unofficial general manager of SmackDown. And they got mad because he made a gauntlet match to determine his next number one contender. So he wanted to beat him up, but Paul Heyman advised him not to. So then they pulled some strings to have him added to the gauntlet match so that they could purposely have him be the winner, and then so he could face him at the Royal Rumble and basically beat him up for creating the gauntlet match in the first place. He felt like Adam Pearce disrespected him, his family, and his bloodline. So continuing off of that, this week, at the end of that match, at the end of the gauntlet match, Shinsuke Nakamura, it was Shinsuke versus Daniel Bryan. Was it Shinsuke supposed to be versus? No, yeah, it's Shinsuke versus Daniel Bryan. Then he went on to, it was supposed to be Shinsuke versus Adam Pearce. But then, Adam having wrestled in so many years and stuff, he's not the same person he was before. He didn't really want to wrestle. They came, but Jey Uso and Roman accompanied him to the ring. They beat up Shinsuke Nakamura, hit their finishers on him, and then they threw Adam Pearce in the ring, telling him to do his job and get in the match. But he still didn't want to do it. And then Jay super kicked him, and they just dragged his body on top of Shinsuke, and Adam Pearce became the number one contender. And the whole purpose was to show the power, his power that Roman has over SmackDown, and he could do what he wants without consequences. So this week, Roman, instead of cutting the promo like he did last week, this week he's in the backstage in his locker room looking over the contract, and he basically don't like it. He don't like the fact that and not allowing him to have the freedom to beat up on Adam Pearce the way he wanted to. It just basically got him. It's basically just a regular one-on-one match at the Royal Rumble. He doesn't like it. Paul Heyman said, "I'm going to handle this." He's going to handle the situation because Roman is unpleased, and that's where Paul Heyman is. Paul Heyman is like the special counsel to Roman Reigns. So, and he goes and basically try to get the match handled. And then that's like Paul Heyman's thing throughout the rest of the night. And I'm gonna be jumping all over the place because some things I can't remember in order, but I do know there was what they had. I forgot what the first match of the night was, but they had a nice little promo section with what was it? The Street Profits. That's what it was. The Street Profits, they cut a little promo about winning back their tag team titles. Though we didn't see the tag team champions this week, we just saw the former tag team champions declaring they will get back their titles. It was a nice little promo. Nice little change up. They did the same. I felt like it was a rinse and repeat because we had the same thing with New Day. New Day basically... They basically lost their titles to the Hurt Business, so now they doing the same thing with the Street Profits. They had them lose it to Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. I'm trying to remember some stuff because I can't oddly remember. I just watched it a couple of minutes ago, but I had other stuff on my mind, so I kind of forgot, and it's embarrassing. I kind of forgot what happened throughout the night. So bear with me. Okay, yeah, we had a Shinsuke. Excuse me, had long hours. The first match, now I remember. So basically, after the Roman Reigns little beginning opening show promo, Jey Uso came out to the ring and cut a promo about how he declaring himself the entry into the Royal Rumble. He's declaring himself he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and that him and his bloodline are not satisfied with just taking over SmackDown. Him and the Big Dog have plans now. Now it's just not SmackDown. They want to take over Raw. So he's declaring that he's going to enter the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and what did he say? He was going to go over to Raw and challenge Drew McIntyre, beat him, and become the champion. And then, but he got mad and he started calling out Shinsuke Nakamura because everybody was talking about how Shinsuke had this great performance in the last week's Gauntlet match, and that everybody, including Shinsuke, should be thanking Roman and their family for catering, for what they do, for what they did, for what they do for them, making them relevant. For they talking about superstars. They talking about like the superstar that just like lose the match all the time or not even on TV. Now they saying you should be thanking them for getting you on TV, making you relevant, doing this or doing that. If it wasn't for their family and his bloodline, they wouldn't have the nice food and catering and all that type of stuff. And he called out Shinsuke Nakamura, telling him but before the Rumble, he got some business to handle with Shinsuke. And then Shinsuke came out and cut a promo. They gave Shinsuke back his old music. The music they just changed from was his, like, I guess you could say heel. It was his heel thing. That's how Stone Cold got his regular thing. Then he got a heel Stone Cold thing. They went back from having Shinsuke's heel thing to Shinsuke's baby face thing. So now they gave him back his baby face thing. He came out, cut a promo saying, "Yo, if Roman is the big dog, you must be his little puppy." And Jay didn't take too kindly of it. He tried to fake like he was about to do something else, but then he turned around and tried to attack, and Shinsuke hit him, and then that's what started the match. That's what they went to commercial, came back. The match was Shinsuke versus Jey Uso. So, in short, to keep it short, it was a good match, and Shinsuke ended up hitting the Kinshasa for the win. Cesaro did make an odd appearance. Like he said he was just there to be in his friend's corner. But then it was just odd that like he just appeared out of nowhere. But yeah, then you had the Street Profits cutting the promo, like I said before, about them just wanting to get their titles back. You had a match, didn't really had no stakes to it because they already got it was Natalya versus Liv Morgan, the Riot Squad, but Sasha Banks. I get into that later, but Sasha Banks basically locked into a battle with Carmella, but we get into that later. Natalya versus Liv Morgan really wasn't like I kind of just like what was the point of this? Like some matches with the way they book them like they have no structure, no meaning. So it's like, what was the point of this? What was the point of this match if it wasn't building them to something? It wasn't to build them to the women's tag team titles, and it wasn't to build them to be the next contender for Sasha Banks' Smackdown Women's Championship. So what was the point? And then you got King Corbin. You had King Corbin versus Rey Mysterio. That match was nicely decent. The old school Rey Mysterio in there putting over the younger talent. King Corbin, got the win. I think he hit the end of days after a distraction. After from Rey Mysterio's son Dominic, who wanted to get into Baron Corbin's face because Baron Corbin keep attacking him. So he got mad, but he ended up causing his dad Ray the match and allowed King Corbin to hit him with the end of days. That match, once again, it did a little to build a feud between Rey Mysterio because I personally don't really care. I didn't really care about King Corbin versus Rey Mysterio or a feud between them. Like, now, if it leads to something with Dominic, I might be more interested in it because at this point, it's basically about building up Dominic Mysterio. And then you got Bayley. She hosted her own talk show called Ding Dong Hello, and it had Bianca Belair. Side note, nobody knows Bianca Belair and Montez Ford of the Street Profits are actually dating. They date in real life. I think they live together. I think they actually might be engaged. I don't know. But I'd like to throw that out there because some of the wrestlers actually date in real life. And that's one of the reasons why Bianca Belair is so popular. It's because everybody, in the real world knows that them two are dating, and that it helps for some reason it helps it helps them more get over more because they know that's why they made. I think that's why when they brought Bianca Belair from NXT to SmackDown and Raw, they wanted her babyface because they know people know that she's dating Montez Ford. But yeah, it was a nice little talk show. It was a nice little thing, a heel talk show. Betty cut her little heel promos declaring herself for the Women's Royal Rumble, and that she was going to win the Women's Royal Rumble and become champion once again. But this supposed to be she's in a lock with this feud with Bayley. Bayley's in a lock with this feud with Bianca, and my prediction is that Bianca is going to come out on top just because they building her up to be like the next challenger for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but it's either neither here or there. Then you got Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. That was actually a surprisingly good match. Though it wasn't a match I was looking forward to. It was a match that actually kind of surprised me. It was a good match. They went back and forth. And Cesaro picked up a clean win, actually, defeating Daniel Bryan via pinfall with a clean win. What was next? What we got next on the docket? We got Sasha Banks. Yeah. So Sasha Banks, Carmella, and her little butler dude, whatever you want to call him, or his name is Reginald. Somalia, that's what he is. Carmella, Somalia, Reginald, and there was cutting a promo about how Carmella beat Sasha Banks 2 weeks ago. She haven't seen Sasha and all that type of stuff, and she basically still want a championship match against Sasha Banks for the Smackdown Women's Championship. And the one thing I hate about WWE, when they do stuff like this, they keep these people interlocking these feuds, and then it kind of just everybody else kind of don't have their way. Like, if it was me, if I was booking the match, once Carmella didn't win it that first time in that pay-per-view match she had, when she didn't win it that time, if I was going to keep Carmella in the picture, I would have had like Bianca Belair, Bayley, and maybe somebody else new in the picture, giving the next time Sasha would have defended the title, even as I booked Sasha to win, she's defending the title in the either the triple threat or the fatal 4-way, because we need to keep building up people. Because as of right now, you got a group of talented women who seem like they never going to be champion because you're always interlocking with two people. I'm not saying you don't keep Carmella in the picture. You need to start adding people to the picture. Make the story interesting now. Make it be like, oh gosh, she got these multiple challengers now. Now she got Bianca Belair, Bayley still, Carmella. You got maybe Ruby Riott or Liv Morgan. You got somebody you can interject in it to boost all of them up without having to keep them down to make them seem like jobbers. That's the thing that's also played Raw. Raw also has that issue, and they need to fix that. And then we got a quick match with Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn with Big E at ringside. Big E is the Intercontinental Champion, so he was checking out his potential, I guess, next challenger. And it looked like it might be Big E versus Apollo Crews. I mean, the match overall itself, Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn, was good. Had his moments, and then Sami. Apollo Crews got the win via using the tights. He used the tights to get the pinfall. So I'm assuming they turned Apollo heel. Is a great assumption because he used the tights. He did the heel thing. He used the tights. Sammy is mad because the referee didn't see the tights. Then you got another promo. I forgot another promo with Jey Uso. He cut a promo backstage with the referee because Jey Uso tried to beat Shinsuke Nakamura using the ropes, but the referee called him and stopped and did his job. Was like, hey, you got your feet on the ropes, can't be doing that. And so backstage, Jay yelled at the referee, telling him he been doing this too long, that he was supposed to count the 1, 2, 3, and that he need to do his job, and that he don't want to piss off the head of the table around here. And the referee like, what do you mean? And he said, just do your job. He's threatening him that if he don't call the matches their way, he might potentially Roman Reigns might potentially get on fire. And then, you got another promo with Paul Heyman and Roman. They talking about how he won a last man standing match, and that to make it happen, that he never wanted a no DQ match. He wanted a last man standing match and handle it. So Paul Heyman went and got that handled. So he gave the new contract. It went from a no disqualification match contract to a last man standing contract. And he told Adam Pearce that to meet him in the ring, that's what Roman wants, that them in the ring and to sign a contract. So then that's what ended up happening. They go out to the ring. Adam Pearce signs the contract. Roman signs the contract. Not before making Adam stand up out of his chair because he wanted Adam's chair and sit at the head of the table. And Adam basically cuts a promo, which is weird because I thought they was having technical difficulties, like with the mic. Like Adam Pearce's mic wouldn't work right or something like that. But Adam Pearce basically said that he was waiting all night for Roman to sign the thing, and that he had those injuries that creep up on you at the last second, and that he knew he was going to be medically cleared for Royal Rumble, so that he's using his rights as an official to make a replacement for him, and he replaced himself with Kevin Owens, so it will be Kevin Owens and Roman at the Royal Rumble in the last man standing match for the Universal Championship. Overall, now here's my rating. After having said all that, overall, SmackDown gets not 10. I was about to say out of 10 big ups. I give it a 8 big ups because it was actually a good show. It had more good than bad, if that makes sense. It wasn't a bad show. It had its weak moments, but overall it was a good show. And I like the way how they cut when the people come out to their music, the way how the camera works and stuff, make it like they there but they not. But yeah, they get 8 out of 10 big ups. But if you want to see more, I will have more. I got that Batwoman review when the new episode drops tomorrow. If y'all can hit that like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button, I greatly appreciate it. To the next one, peace.